It's a different day. I'm wearing a different sweater. Hello everyone, welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
board gamey things.
Exactly. Just so everybody knows, this is the last video that we are ever filming together in this studio.
The together thing is irrelevant. No one else is filming in here.
No,
it's
but
like...
I have to film another video by myself.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Everything's about you, Jeff.
Well, I like to think it is.
We are here to do a video about games that we are confident that we could teach from memory.
It's not a confident. I know I could teach these from memory.
I'm confident in myself. Now,
confidence makes me think that I have maybe a second, guess on whether or not I could actually do this. I know I could teach these.
Here's the thing for me. The only thing that I might need is just setup. Be like, how many cards
I don't include setup.
No, setup doesn't count. Can I teach the game? The game's in front of me. Can I teach it?
Yeah, setup
from
is...
here?
I mean, that's impossible to remember all the setup rules, like how many cards you need and stuff. That's ridiculous.
Impossible.
I don't include setup.
No, because setup is different depending on player count for most games.
Yeah, and honestly, to be fair, a lot of these games are very light.
Yes, that's true. Anyways, these are the games that we can teach from memory, and I think that these are all of them, basically. But I'm going to start off with mine that I 100%...
Some are yours, some are mine, some are both.
Some are both. I can 100% teach from memory, including setup, Final Girl.
I mean, that's fair.
I play this game so much. It's almost like second nature when I set it up. I'm just like, yep, okay, I do this, this. These are my cards. I do this, I do this. Now, obviously, the newest set, Series 3, which is right behind me here, I might need to look at some setup stuff for those, but I can teach you Final Girl, okay? Specifically, I can teach you all of the, Series 1 and Series 2. Not a problem. #1 game, my most played game, Final Girl, got that on lockdown, right?
Mm-hmm. Next up is both, and that is Villainous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only thing about Villainous is they adjusted some of the rules.
Yeah.
With the most recent version. So it's a bit sneaky, but
I
have nothing but confidence.
Yes.
As mentioned, I don't even need confidence. I can teach Villainous. The only thing I might screw up is the starting location thing. We always screw that up.
Yeah, but who cares?
Yeah.
We've been playing it wrong for years. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The only thing about Villainous for me is now the newest sets. We couldn't teach.
Yeah, I mean,
we can teach the general rules.
There's some other games in here that it comes down to maybe some asymmetrical faction stuff.
Yeah.
Base Villainous. You know, if we've played the character, we can teach you it.
Yes.
If we haven't played the character, no, we can't teach you that character.
We can't teach you that character. We haven't played it.
That goes without saying.
That's crazy. We couldn't do that.
But the gameplay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just we played it so many times. It used to be my #1 game.
Mm-hmm.
It fell off my good graces for a little while. All right, then we have Sea Salt and Paper.
Easy.
In my sleep. I teach this?
I don't even need to be awake to teach you that one.
It's just a simple card game anyway. So if we've played it as many times as we have and we couldn't teach it, there would be a problem.
Agreed.
But we can.
Next up is me. I have to do this at conventions, so I'm very confident that I can do this, and that is Dice Throne.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm confident because I've done it multiple times.
Yes.
We always have demo tables set up. People come up, be like, can I play this? And I'll be like, yep, let's go.
Yep.
And I'll teach them in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I think I could teach Dice Throne as well from memory. The only thing that here's the thing, both with Dice Throne and Unmatched, although I think I could teach Unmatched from memory as well, but it's not on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I can never remember, is the starting hand 4 or 5 cards? That's for all of those games because they're all so similar, but I think Dice Throne's 4.
The thing with Dice Throne that would be tough is some of the nuance on targeting and damage types, depending on which character people...
Most of it's on the board, though.
But, again, if I'm teaching you the game, I'm not using any of those more advanced characters. I'm going to pull out Barbarian and Moon Elf, and I got those things down pat. No problem.
I got Moon Elf down pat.
Yeah.
You freaking kidding me?
Mhm.
This is a good time for a little bit of like an input about teaching board games. If you are teaching a board game to somebody, don't crush them.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's not kind.
Do not play to win. It's very
Don't play to
poopy.
win.
I don't get the point.
That just made me think about, some games you can't help. If you win, but
Yeah.
don't like set out being like, I'm going to use my best strategy.
Try a different strategy.
Yeah.
Try something you've never done before.
Yes.
Or, just go a bit easier. It's fine. You don't need to win every game. It's okay.
They'll like it more if they win. And then you could play it with them again and then you crush them a second time.
Mm-hmm.
The next game on this list is Silver Bullet. Even though we don't play it as much as we used to,
Yep.
I could still very easily teach anyone that game. Now, sometimes we play some of the cards wrong, but that's fine. That's just because we can't read properly about triggers and stuff. But we could definitely teach this one from memory. And with that goes the whole Silver series because they all play the same.
Next up is King Domino. We've taught this one numerous times. It is very straightforward tile placement game that I have no qualms.
No.
Easy peasy.
Easy. We could both do that one. Then we have Nana. I don't even need to say it. You guys know we take this with us everywhere we go. We have played it a billion times and it is an extremely simple card game. From memory, easy peasy. Next one is also just a solo game. If anybody wants to learn it, I can teach you numbsters like that. Okay? Because it takes 2 seconds to teach. So that's an easy peasy one for me.
Next two, I'll do the next two.
Yep.
The first one, I think both of us could do this one.
More so you than me.
Okay, next two are me. Draftosaurus. Drawing dinos from back. Placing it in your section.
Have you heard of it?
That's it. Roll dice.
Super fun.
Did you get T-Rex?
Right.
Next up is Res Arcana. I could teach that in my sleep.
Do you think you could also teach all of the expansions?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Are
Except for the new one.
Are all the
The
expansions
duo
on
one.
BGA?
No, they haven't put Perlai up yet, which is ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Get it together.
If
BGA.
you're out there and you work for Board Game Arena, can someone explain to me why the newest expansion to Res Arcana has not been added yet? It's absolutely absurd. But yeah, I could teach. The only thing that the new one adds is the pearls, and the pearls are straightforward. They're either a victory point or they are used for a resource.
Yeah, that's true. Then we have Fantasy Realms. Now, Fantasy Realms, oh my god. This used to be one of our go-to games.
Yeah.
We play it so much. But what I will say is I can teach this very easily for a 2-player game.
Yeah, agreed. I couldn't. I always get confused.
Yeah.
On when there's more players, because in a 2-player game, you're like drawing.
Yeah. You have to like build you have to get up to 7 cards before that you can start, and then you start to play regularly. That's just how we're used to playing it. Yeah. Similo.
Easy.
Now, it's easy to teach.
It is.
Nobody understands.
I know.
Similo,
Me
dissimilo.
included.
It's like, okay, if I'm putting out this card, that means what you're looking for is similar. And everybody's like, all right, get rid of this one. It's like, no, because that is similar to this.
The
easy
character
to
is
understand.
similar.
Yeah. Then we have Sushi Go.
Straight card drafting.
Yeah, we love Sushi Go.
Give me a hard one.
Give me a hard one.
Next up, we have Boomerang Australia, which is a flip and write.
Yes.
We've played so much Boomerang Australia. Yeah, that's one I could do in my sleep.
Yeah, but
very straightforward.
Not Boomerang USA or Europe.
No, I haven't played.
Don't even ask. We've played.
Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous. We got to stay in Australia. Then we have Harmonies. This one's mine. Mm-hmm. Could you teach it from memory?
No.
Do you think? Harmonies,
no, I just had to get taught that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Charlie just had to teach me that.
So I have played Harmonies like numerous times now on BGA and in person, and I can teach you like just the basics, you know? Actually, I can even teach you with the special cards that come in, like the drafting at the beginning. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Next up are 2 very simple games.
Yes.
Can't Stop.
Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
You just roll dice.
Yeah.
Move up the track. Pick your poison. What do you want to do? You want to keep going? You want to stop?
You can't.
Can't stop.
We just taught you the game.
Done.
You're welcome. And then the other one's no thanks. We just taught this one at BGA.
Pay a chip or take a card.
The cards are the points. And you don't want them. Yeah. Then, of course, we have Lord of the Rings: A Confrontation.
Yeah. I've taught this game enough. I tend to bring this quite often to PlayCons.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favorite games and not a lot of people get to try it. So I bring it often and teach it often. I haven't played with there's a variant version of this game that you can play as where the people have, the character has different abilities. I haven't played that side as frequently as the base game.
No, we've only done that once.
But that's not even really necessarily part of the teach because everyone has those abilities in front of them. Next one is Boop.
I can't teach it. I can't learn it.
I've played so much Boop. Yeah, this would be
in your sleep.
In my sleep game to teach. Play a kitten or a cat. They boop each other. Get 3 in a row. You upgrade to cats. If you get 3 cats in a row, you win the game. That's it. That's the game.
I can't get it.
For some reason, the difficulty in this game is not in knowing how to play the game, which is, it's a different thing in order to teach and understand how to play the game. It's different to teach and understand the full strategy of the game, where I think the difficulty of something like Boop comes in. Jamie, I can teach Jamie how to play the game.
Yeah, I could teach you how to play the game.
She's probably not, she still has a hard time understanding how the cats and kittens boop. She knows how they do.
In theory.
But when it's in practice, she's like, how do they go again? And I'm like, everything
Or he'll constantly be like, don't put that cat there, I'm going to win. And I'll be like, why? How? I don't get it.
The last time we played this game, Jamie did a move. We were playing on BGA. And we were playing next to each other because sometimes we do that. We lay in bed and we play BGA games against each other.
Yep.
And we're playing Boop. And Jamie made a move and I was like, you don't want to do that because you're about to lose. And she's like, oh. And then she redid it, or undid it, did her move, and then the next move I won.
Yeah, it was hopeless. Next on the list is Go Nuts for Donuts. This one is just, we've played it so many times. I just taught this at a board game night the other night, and it's just very straightforward. The only thing with Go Nuts for Donuts is I couldn't outwardly explain what every donut does, but I use the book as a reference, even though, because I can't see this. It's all on the cards.
Yeah, it is.
So
all
it's
on the
fine.
Cards. And it's one of those things too. I find a lot of the time people will be like, "Hey, what does this mean?" And you'd be like, "Oh, that's what this means."
So if you can put it close enough to my face where I can read it.
Yeah, and in Go Nuts for Donuts, there's no private information, so it's like, "What's this mean?" And you can just be like, "That's what it means."
Precisely. Just One is another one. Just One is just an easy, simple party game. And you want to know what? Here's the rules. You write just one word.
Just one word.
You have no idea how many times people ask, "Can I write 2 words?"
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
It's called just one.
Just one.
And then if you match words, you get to erase them.
Yep.
And you can't give them as clues.
The next one is specifically for me. It's River Valley Glassworks. I've played this one a ton. I could definitely teach this one without looking. It's a newer game. I feel more confident sometimes with games that I've recently learned that are simple and that I would like harmonies. River Valley Glassworks. I'll just mention another one, Draft and Write Records. Those are 3 newer games that I've played so much recently that I could easily teach them.
Next up, we have Flick of Faith. I've played a ton of Flick of Faith.
And you always teach it.
I'm always the one that teaches this game. The difficulty, I think, would be expansion content, but I'm not including that here.
Yeah.
I actually think I know the expansion content and what it does.
Yeah.
I would have to set it up, but yeah, Flick of Faith is one our friend Matt loves, and we play
so much.
all the time. We haven't played with him in a long time, actually.
Yeah, we haven't had him over for just straight up games.
I think
once
we get the studio set up, we can get back into doing that stuff.
Ruth.
But I would like to play it again. But yeah, Flick of Faith, easy peasy lemon squeezies.
Yeah. So Clover is another one. That's just an easy party game. I feel like if you've played it once, you can teach it. That's easy.
Captain Flip for me, again, that's a game I've only played a handful of times in person. I've played a ton on BGA, but it is very easy.
I think I could teach it.
Draft a tile, flip it or not, place it on your board.
Yeah.
Done.
Sometimes I wonder, though, I look at this, I'm like, oh, I could teach Captain Flip. Is this the same thing as looking at a piece of art and be like, I could draw that? I can see what I mean.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't look at, a Picasso and be like, I could draw that.
I might.
I might be able to. I just trace it. Next up is one of the, I think, more difficult ones that's on the list for me, and that's Skull King. I've played it a ton. I've taught it a ton. I think the difficulty in the teach with Skull King is explaining how the different characters trump other characters. That's the biggest thing. And the scoring. The scoring can be very confusing for someone that's never played the game before. I always end up doing the scoring because I know how it works now. But those are the 2 difficult parts. Just understanding that, if there's one mermaid out, it actually trumps the pirates and vice versa and whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's a very straightforward game.
Trick
I
game.
think a lot of people falter in that game with the scoring.
Yes.
Specifically, there is an app I believe you can use now. And I've never found the scoring difficult, but I understand why some people do find it a bit weird.
Yeah. Next one for me is hooky. I always teach this game, and I have taught it to a lot of people, and I do not need to look at anything. And the beauty of hooky is all the rules are written on your player screen anyway. So even if you suck at the teach, everybody has the rules right in front of them. Win-win. Win.
Preach.
My Shelfie is another one. I play it a ton. It's very straightforward, like kind of Connect 4 pattern building style game. And the only thing, like, everybody's going to kind of understand, like, the biggest hurdle of this game is that you can only choose the tiles that are kind of on the outside. They all have to go in the same column, that kind of thing. But it's very straightforward, very, very Shelfie.
Next one up is a recent one for me. I think if we were to do this like 2 weeks ago before BGG Con, I probably wouldn't have had this on the list, but I just taught it again, and now it's in there.
Yes.
And that's River of Gold. We've played it a ton. I've taught it
We played it with Max and Danielle when they came?
I think I taught it to you. I taught it to Max and Danielle.
Ben and Sarah.
Charlie. And then Charlie. So I've played it enough. I think the first or the second time when we played it with Max, I screwed up something at the end game scoring that Max had picked up on, but whatever. But I just taught it at BGG Con with her friend Charlie, and I think now it's easy.
It's a game that we've been playing a lot on BGA, and so sometimes that's a tricky thing, right? You play something on BGA, you're like, I could teach this, but a lot of it's automated. So because we've played it so many times in person recently,
it's a straightforward roll dice, choose an action. There's like you have three things you can do. You can build, you can deliver, or you can sail. That's it. And you do that based off what your die says. It's very straightforward.
Then we have Mountain Goats, which is another new one. We've been playing a ton. It's very straightforward. I don't even want to call it a push your luck game because it really isn't. But it's very simple all-play game.
Yeah, it feels like it should be a push your luck game, but it's not.
That's how it feels.
Yeah.
But if you know how to play Can't Stop, like it has a lot of the similar things. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's Can't Stop without so much of the randomness because there's some mitigation of the dice and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, next three are me. First one's Dice Town. I've taught this at least
Jeff's always the one that teaches
5 times now. And why I think Dice Town is so easy to teach is because everything's on the board in front of you.
Yeah.
It's very straightforward. Just depending on what you have rolled, you will do actions from left to right and win things depending on your dice rolls. Very straightforward. Next one is Undaunted. I've taught Undaunted to Jamie. I've taught Undaunted to Doolin.
We play at the time.
I played it with Tristan a bunch. I can't remember if I taught Tristan or like we kind of like stumbled through. That was like early on, so we kind of stumbled through it together. But yeah, Undaunted, easy. Even all of the card triggers and everything I have down now. I know how all the range works, etc., etc. One I would stumble a little bit with is probably the new one, Callisto.
Yeah,
just because there's added levels of how the range works.
So like the system of Undaunted, you could teach.
The last one is probably the chunkiest boy, and this just comes down to having played it
1 billion times.
Oh, I did finally figure this out. It is over 200 times I've played this game. I don't know the exact count, but I know it's over 200 times. And that's Root. Now, I'm specifically stating I could teach base game Root with the Cats, the Eerie, the Vagabond, and the Woodland Alliance. I could teach people the other factions, but I couldn't do it off memory. I'd probably need to reference some stuff for the Lizards. All of the Vagabonds I could teach, but the Lizards... Otters I could teach off memory. Moles, no.
Are the moles a duchy?
Yeah. Crows, no. The new set with the rats and the badgers. Base root. no problem.
Forget about it.
Now, again, I can teach you the game. Can I teach you optimal strategy? I can try, but that's a game that you just need to play and figure out on your own.
Yes.
But I could teach you the core mechanisms of that game and how it works.
Yep.
You would have to uncover how all the factions... I would be able to like give you insights on something you do and be like, hey, just FYI, you can do that, but here's why you might not want to do that because it might do something to benefit someone.
That's the point where Jeff would say, and I'll leave that part for you to discover on your own.
Yeah.
That's what Rodney always says.
There you go.
Those are all of the games that we are pretty confident, super confident, 100% confident that we could teach from memory. Because if I look at that Picasso, I know I could paint it. You know, if I see that game name, I know I could teach it. Yep. That's just how it works. We'd be really interested to know, is there a game that you can play from memory? Like, what's your go-to game that you're like, I teach this game?
I know someone out there is going to be like, On Mars. I'm going to be like, no, you can't.
Yeah, no, you can't.
I don't believe you.
Without looking at the rule book?
I do not believe you.
You'd probably be like, oh, I just need the rule book for setup, and then you go like this.
You're lying to me, you're lying to Jamie, and you're lying to yourself.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your family, dishonor on your cow.
What's that from?
Milan. Oh. Anyways, that is the video today, and that is the last video you're going to see. I don't know if this one's coming out first or last or whatever, but
I'm not even remotely sad about it.
That's crazy.
Bye.
No nostalgia.
None.
For this table.
No.
Jeff, look how it wiggles.
No.
I don't want to press it too hard. That is everything that we have for you today. If you're interested in buying board games like any of the many that we could teach you from memory, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And if you'll remember, for us, that is...
the Boardroom Game Cafe.
And
you changed that up. You can't do that to me.
But I led it with what you usually respond to. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye, goodbye.
Later days.
Look at this, though.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys want to go scary?
Well, that's your new thing.
We need to get new merch. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Last video ever filmed in the studio with you.
Mm-hmm.
This is it.
Make us snappy.
How do you feel?
I'm running out of steam.
Okay. Anyways, so for today. So for today's video,
I was doing Will Ferrell.
Oh, from Old School?
Yeah.
When he gets tranquilized?
Maybe. All I can think of is him going, Pound Town. Is that it might be from The Office, actually, when he gets tranked.
He gets tranked
or no, when he comes out of the hospital.
Oh, I don't know. That's funny. Anyways.
Well, then you're going to have to do something.
You're going to do something with it.
I can't remember.
Oh my God.
It's because I don't have a good memory up here until I see the thing, and then it clicks. I am a very visual.
We're losing confidence with the people on the other side of the camera.
I'm a very visual person.